Okay, I'll be going over a replay. This ends up being a carry worm game, which is kind of unusual for me. I don't usually like playing worms. They're usually fairly easy to counter, but I was seeing actually Stony of all people play it. Um, yeah, it ends up pretty interesting, I think. So here, there were a number of options, but I went for cost control. I think yeah, I got a little lucky. This is pretty good. Well, Tarantula Void Eye is unusually strong, so I think the Tarantula drops are pretty strong generally. They're always paired up with like Void Eye or Marksman. That usually counters what the AI can throw out. You want something kind of tanky, something very high DPS for a single target. And then you usually want Chaff. You don't always need Chaff though. So you see the Void Eyes kind of deal with these Saber Tooth. Not quite perfectly. I think I could have done it a little bit better, but I had a bit of spare to throw at a tower, even with that. So I ended up getting two of them. It looked like some crawlers detached and distracted the rhino, which was nice. So otherwise that rhino would have taken one of my towers. It opens pretty well. So here, see the Sandworm pops up, the improved Sandworm and Sandworm. This is round two. It's pretty early. Sandworms need a little time to scale. I thought this wave wasn't too bad for it either. Then I could toss. Well, I wanted to get into the center, but it's a bit difficult. So I went for a less greedy approach. I wasn't able to sell any of the tarantulas, but because I needed them to get rid of the fangs. You'll see these sandworms kind of wreck this wave, which is nice. Normally I would buy a lot of chaff and such, but I wasn't able to do that this game. Amp over here's the leader, so I end up picking up some extra money. You'll see kind of the power of the improved sandworm. It just blows up big areas of units. This gets really crazy once the mech rage comes in. The attack speed goes down a lot, and Yeah, it ends up pretty crazy. Sandworm, I mean, I was never really a Sandworm player, but sometimes it's fun to do, especially if the opportunity presents itself. Here, I pick up the melting point. I'm not quite sure why. I mean, it helps here a bit, so maybe that was my idea. I probably sell off one of the tarantulas since this wave doesn't need it. I won't need the tarantulas long term either. And kind of figuring out what to put down. I do end up skipping some chaff deployments. Probably a mistake. It feels well, it feels nice to have the chaff, but it is kind of a race here to get enough sandworms out. I'll end up needing 6 of them, I think. I mean, I don't even manage to clear my wave, which is not great, but like maybe I shouldn't have taken the melting points, but there's some bosses that the melting points are necessary for if I want to, if I ever get ahead. There's some waves that the melting points also will make it possible to get through. Although with anti-aerial, some of the airwaves are not really that difficult for me. I picked up the napalm, the incendiary bomb. It's not. Maybe it wasn't that great here. I do end up going into chaff, thankfully. The Vulcan I picked up because I needed a tank. Like these swarms are tanky, but the Vulcan's more tanky. When I put the armor enhancement's cheap. I sold off my other tarantula, so you'll see it. It fully did its job. Yeah, and this guy counters me immediately. Just puts out things. But he's on the other side of the map, so it's not as difficult for me. But, I mean, at this point, the sandworms are... They're not critically scaled, but even round 4... I think round 4 having... Round 5 having rank 3 improved sandworm is kind of ridiculous. The Mustangs come out, they're really good on this wave, so I picked them. Like, this kind of counters the Mustangs, but as long as the Mustangs stay out of range, they can deal with all of us. I keep this run Sandworm trying to run into the center. It doesn't work all the time, but I think I get worried about some of the Jaff, so I mislet. I find when doing this I don't need the enhanced range so much. I mean, yeah, you'll see the melting points kind of help here. I'm thinking next round I probably want to add another tech. A lot of people rush to replicate, but mechanical rage seems to be a bit more powerful, at least early on. And even this guy starts trying to counter me blue. Not really a bother though. So here, I think I'm considering the super supply. Like, the advanced defense tactics is pretty good too. Round 6 is a bit late for super supply though. It's a full airway, but I pick up a... And then I think I dip. It's... The worms can't really deal with the death knell. That's the mechanical rage. Yeah, I kind of chew up as much of this as I can. I mean, I lose, but... I get some of the... I just send my Sandworms off to fight and gain levels. A Sandworm is kind of money dependent, but not really. It's more level dependent. Level and tech dependent. You just need a core of Sandworms and then they... And then they'll win the game for you. But yeah, you'll see completely countered, but it's still gaining levels, so... Well, I mean, even if I counter it like this, eventually when the worms get the wormlings, the fangs don't really beat it by itself anymore. Blue gets the win here again, which is actually not that good for him. It kind of frees up more money for me. Missile Strike comes out, I see this. Like, it's pretty juicy. I looked over here, there wasn't anything really. Mass Fortress is actually a bit dangerous for a Sandworm, but it requires leveled fortresses. If he starts leveling one of them, and it levels past by Sandworms, then it's kind of dangerous, but... Right, then it needs to be at least the same level as the Sandworm. These Sandworms are already kind of dangerous. Yeah. Normally I'd like rhinos, but again, it's think this is a kind of steamroll comp rather than a money comp. Well, not steamroll, scaling comp rather than money comp. So the guy also has the same idea. I probably should have spread out my Mustangs a bit more. I mean, it's one worm against, what, 5? The melting points actually help a lot here because the rhinos, when they come out, it manages to get rid of them. I don't think I would have been able to without the melting point. This ground Roomba here. Amp's been liking that, but I don't think the Roomba is that good into this fortress comp here. I mean, these fortresses are good into mine, but I have Replicate now, it's starting to overwhelm them. All I have to do is start leveling the sandworms, and then these larvae, the wormlings, they kind of overrun. Just you'll see here, it just it doesn't seem to matter. I always thought the fortresses were a bit underrated in free for all, but I mean, I'm seeing why I don't really run carry fortress. It's sometimes good. It's kind of hard to pull off without elite marksman, I think. I'm not sure shields is that useful. I mean, it's kind of useful. But between the Void Eyes and the Sandworms, the shield doesn't do much here. Again, I think I dip again. It's this experimental fang isn't really that helpful. Well, the ignition kind of burns up my worms. Although with the fire here, I have the chance to just charge it. I think I commit to flanking though. And the best option is flanking into amp. So I pick up the AA so I can kill the Void Eyes. Pretty sure I flank inside, yeah I do. I still get most of this wave, the boss wave, I think. I probably just could have slammed the boss wave with the worms. Thankfully, amp actually goes away from me. But yeah, they once the worms start unburrowing enough, they get a critical mass of these larvae, and it's pretty hard for them to get countered. Like even the level 1 Sandworm is kind of dangerous. Again, this guy needed to level as one of the fortresses. Yeah, super heavy armor. I think there's not really that much for me to get. If someone gets death knell, that's kind of dangerous for me, but it's a bit late. Death knell against level 2 death knell against a level 5 sandworm is not going to survive. Do something silly here, I think. This wave I can just straight up run into. If I reposition the Vulcan to the front, I can take this group of sandworms and fly it into the center. And end the game at this round. I was kind of worried though if I did that I would lose to someone else. So I do something weird here. I go for I go to flank into this guy, but not directly. I mean, if you look at what the sandworms do to this, it's yeah. I probably should have just gone straight in. I did upgrade a tower once, so it's a little bit more, but I end up fighting both my neighbor and the boss at the same time. It would have been better if I hadn't. But I mean, I'm still securely in the lead, so it's not. It wasn't. This wasn't a critical error, but it was a pretty big one. The fortresses end up being kind of dangerous at this point. Hey, as much as Carry Fortress, not so great. They add a lot of ward power or ward weight, so it's like whenever they win big often. So final round. Mess up slightly here. I didn't think that the steel ball production line was that useful. I mean, it could be, but think maybe I could have put it on one of my Raidens. This one. And considering units, there wasn't anything for me to pick up. So, yeah, looking at both sides, it's either flanking into Fangs with Ignite or Death Knells. Kind of risk on the Death Knells. There's no Traff on this side, so... And they have Missile Strike. I end up just sending it. I put some of the Raidens on this side. EMP. I'm thinking I can send over the Raidens and the Sandworms. EMP, whatever's there. If he flanks me, I think I win the flank. I don't really win this side, but... Well, I do win this side too, but... I mean, I'm also concerned about the opposite side of the board. He has leveled some of them, it's not enough. I don't need anything in the center. I'm committed to having my Sandworm survive. There's a rank 5 super heavy armor Sandworm. Maxed out stats. Yeah, so it's pretty big. It's got more health than the Death Knell. Yeah, and it just dies. Even if they picked energy absorption, it would have died before it would be able to reach critical. And then even then the Raidens would have come in and electrocuted it. Surprisingly, I even won the other side, but maybe not. Yep. Moved all of his units. I mean, when worms work, they're pretty good. They just usually don't work. Yeah. I mean, it's a fun composition. It's not. It can be good. I think in the case where there's a lot of air units, it's usually better than. There's some disagreement on that, but generally, like the more air units there are, the better it is. I picked it up because I thought there was going to be mass void eye. Anyway, I hope this was entertaining.